Welcome back. We now cross over to our international correspondent, David Kibuka, who's still in Dubai. Dave, what's happening there this time?
I love it here, Loy. There's no racism because this place is all about business. That's how I'm going to decide where I go to from now on. Other people decide on places by asking, how is the weather there? How is the food? I will ask, how is the racism? Is it delicious?
So you are telling us you are never coming back to South Africa then?
In South Africa, it's like racism doesn't end. We run out of electricity, but we never seem to run out of racism. It's as if the racism is solar powered. Like the racists say, I can never run out of racism energy because I get my racism from the sun.
Even in winter we have sun, Dave, so it's never going to end. Come on, man.
Someone should be load shedding our racism. They'll tell people there will be no racism allowed between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. on Wednesdays, and if you have a problem with that, you must just check the schedule.
I hear you, Dave. I hear you.
That's why America is so strange, because they say it's the land of the free, but it's actually just the land of the free to be racist. Because in America, they just assume that if you're black, you're a criminal. They even assume Barack Obama's a criminal. Like when he leaves the White House, they'll be like, excuse me, Mr. President, but there's some teaspoons that are missing, and a stapler.
And the police?
Here in Dubai, they don't really have racism, but they don't have human rights. You can easily bump into a dictator's wife here having a good time. Like Grace Mugabe comes to shop here all the time, and they don't ask her, where did you get this money from, Grace? Did you work for it?
Man, that's crazy.
And that's the place where this place lets itself down. Like in terms of things like what women can and cannot do here in the Middle East. You could find that the person who's going to find the cure to AIDS or cancer is a woman, but she will never be allowed to find it because she's not even allowed to drive, let alone get a job and contribute to society.
Dave, I hear all you're saying, but is that Trevor Noah in the background?
Like even in South Africa, the poor woman that you find at the traffic lights begging with the children on their backs. The cure for many of our problems are on the backs of those babies, but they will never get a chance to go to school, so we as the human race will never be cured of these ailments.
Dave, just look behind you.
What?
Okay, never mind. What were you saying about poor people?
Thank you, Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was David Kibuka, still in Dubai, having a good old time. Now, a telltale sign of living in an oppressed regime is a silence or state-controlled media. And this is very true in Zimbabwe. And to be fair, even in South Africa. I mean, I'm talking about the SABC. But you know, things are extra bad when senior editors are being suspended for writing about Zimbabwe's economy dying. Okay, Zimbabwe, here's the thing. The cat has been out the bag for a while regarding your economy dying. In fact, the cat has left the bag, had a long life, now has kittens, and they also live in the bag. Now you would think things are really bad, but no, it gets worse. It gets really worse. Itai Dzamara, an opposition activist who is notoriously vocal against Robert Mugabe and ZANU-PF, has gone missing. You need to be seriously a brave man to take up a top media job in Zimbabwe. Personally, I think they could use a certain Tlawudi. On second thought, the fake qualification thing wouldn't really fly over there. Those people take their education very seriously. So in solidarity with Itai Dzamara and media freedom as a whole, we've decided to collaborate with some satirists in Zimbabwe. I mean, bringing the borders together and just making one juicy thing.
Zimbabwe today is a thriving nation that has defied the odds. After record-breaking inflation in 2008, we dumped our currency and stole our neighbours' notes instead. After dodgy elections, we become the head of SADC in the AU. How's that for defying the odds?
But that's not all. We are a sovereign and proud nation.
Mandabe, what are you doing here? This is my report.
Well, I heard you were doing a report for these arrogant South Africans, so I thought they could pay me some rands at least. I mean, God knows if each of them can have at least 20 wives each, they should be able to pay me a few thousand rands for my DSTV subscription.
Anyway, as I was saying, Zimbabwe
I just wanted to say hi to my friend, Learn More Guramatunu, who's doing a really great job serving tables at the waterfront in Cape Town. It's so great to see Zimbos doing big things. I mean, who would have thought it?
Zimbabwe has pioneered innovative new ways to drive our economy forward, and we will be looking at 3 of these ingenious initiatives in this report. First, we look at the faction.
Yeah. You are early. Yes. The faction is a fascinating political phenomenon that has multiple benefits for us politicians. It gets citizens talking so much about factionalism that they forget there are other unimportant things like the economy and your child's education. The faction also has various benefits, such as allowing people who don't like other people to democratically join the people they hate the least to fight the people they hate the most. Our homegrown faction concept is proving so popular internationally that government is set to export it over the next few months. There is already huge interest from COSATU in South Africa, the Conservatives in the UK, and the Tea Party in the USA. We now want to export the concept to South African political parties, such as the EFF, the DA, and the ANC. It will become our second biggest export to South Africa after our people. The faction is the economy. The economy is the faction. You are honored.
Another driver of our economic success is said to be through private game reserves, such as those recently set up by steadfast First Lady, who displaced some unpatriotic villagers with anti-imperialist zebras and radical giraffes of the people. As part of our pro-conservation stance, we might have taken a farm or 3 to establish wildlife sanctuaries. Our people will live alongside the Big Five, as we did in the olden days. So there shouldn't be any controversies around that. Not to mention the amount of tourist investments that will be realized through this venture.
Yo, it's really great, eh? I mean, things were looking bad back in 2008 when it cost $1 trillion Zimbabwe to buy a beer. Wallets were extinct because we were carrying our money around in suitcases and rucksacks. But then our finance minister had this amazing idea. He created a brand new currency, the South African Rand, our very own. It's been fantastic ever since. As you can see, Zimbabwe is moving forward as a regional powerhouse, innovating and creating. We'd like to thank you for joining us here at Zambezi News. I've been Jerome Weathers.
And I am still Mandape.
And I'm Kudzai She Mushai Hembe.
Back to you in the studio, Loiso.